Hello. Alright, let me quickly post this on my Discord, and then we can go from there, probably. YouTube, please find my stream. Okay, so... Alright. Let's see. I have actually no clue if this stream is working or not. We'll see if it works. I think I see it. Alright, so I'll be looking at this 2020 robot a little bit because it was submitted in my server. And then I'm going to take a look at the slopdown intake, and then I'm going to make my own slopdown intake for 2020. The last one I didn't really like because of the cantilever, or like the single rocket on the side for my like long stream. So I want to make a better one. That'll probably happen in like 20 minutes or so? I'm not sure, something like that. Alright, so I guess we can just start with this robot. So this is a high tide clone, nothing much to here. Is there bumpers? There is bumpers, alright. So I guess the main things you can see here is we have over the bumper intake, the Falcon goes to top tier. Looks like there's a second belt that goes to the other end. And then belt that goes here, some standoffs to hold the whole thing together. And then belt goes up. And then we assume that the power cells are going to go into the indexer in some way, shape, or form. And then into the actual shooter. And then there's a turret. And then I assume there's an adjustable HUD as well. So I guess the main things that I can catch, and I will probably say this, I probably already have said this in the thread in Discord, but with 2020, especially at 2020, you want to make sure that basically everything is powered. So like you don't want to have any like dead zones here, right? So welcome Astray to the stream. Thank you. I love this guy. All right. But main thing is, so with like, especially with like the foam balls, since they can basically just squish like infinitely, you don't want them to like accidentally like slip somewhere. Like they won't like magically, like even if you try to like rely on gravity, they won't like magically go in the position that you want them to, because they just like to jam and like get stuck. So like it's really common where if you intake multiple balls, that two power cells will end up stuck next to each other, and then you get stuck in a jam, and that's not great. So typically you want to have like at minimum like some side rollers here, which I assume you'll be doing. And then you can usually have some like differential in speed, so like one side's a little bit faster than the other, and that helps. OMG, David from DDS. Thank you, George. Yeah, this is what they did in 2021. Yeah. So typically if you want, like, so for the stuff that doesn't jam, it's usually like spindexers, right? The spindexers don't really jam as much because of how they work. The Spectrum style also kind of works in the 973 style. Because like the balls go into the tower and you can have a lot more time to index them as well. And just kind of how they set it up, which makes it good. I know especially in 2020, 2021, like some teams were trying to use vectored intake wheels, and I remember that was like popular. But that wasn't like the best way to approach it, because you could really only intake one ball at a time, which made cycles really slow. So if you looked at like 2910, right, you'd have they'd like basically just go to, like, if you looked at their chessy, they just go and intake like one ball at a time because of the vectored intake wheels. Because if they intaked any more than that, then they'd jam. And the challenge is kind of how do you intake multiple balls without it jamming. So that's why you want to like, and that's why indexing was so hard in 2020. I guess anyway, ignoring the indexer, the main things I would do here is actually, do I have? Oh, okay. Main things I would do here is I would probably smoothen out this polycarbonate setup. Actually, I should pull up Epic Pen. I'll do that next stream actually, so I can draw on stream. But the idea is you want to make sure that you have. You kind of want to just follow the tension of the standoffs, and that just keeps everything clean. It just makes it look better, but it's not like necessary, and like really it's fine. You're just using this so that the power cells don't fly out. And then just make sure that the center to center of these are small enough. Yeah, that looks good enough. That's fine. This is also sticking out. Don't do that. I assume you've noticed that though. Yeah, that turret is chunky. Looks like it's just the gray T. It's probably fine. I'm kind of curious on if there's any way to stick an encoder anywhere, make it easier. I'm not sure how much the Versaplanetary adds to backlash, but you might be able to just account for it in Vision. With Vision, I have no clue. I am not a software person. If anyone can talk a little bit about this in chat, that'd be nice, but this is probably fine. Something that I did notice and I wasn't able to say. Actually, let's see. Side bumpers real quick. Under the bot. I mean, this pattern's fine for the belly pan. EDP goes here. It might be a little bit annoying to like power the magnetic limit switches. That makes sense, yeah. 7 to 0 would be nice. So you take... This might be a little bit annoying, like the breaker placement and just like plugging in the battery. I'm not exactly sure though. Because you'd have the wire just like kind of go up and awkwardly plug in. And then you have to take like a 90-degree turn to go down here. Yeah. Yeah, that's what makes it difficult, right? It's the... Is this rotates like once, and then this rotates like some small amount, right? And then that'd be really annoying for the turret. Things to note. This isn't powered. I assume you're trying to power it. Oh, there's a polycord. I assume you're gonna hook it up. Oh, maybe it's infinity belt. That'd make sense. You infinity belt that, and then you'd make it. I would probably put a standoff. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, maybe Velcro straps would help. But this bot is really tiny, so it's kind of hard to package battery in here. Yeah, 22 by 22. I think what I would have done, now that I'm thinking about it, I'd probably put, if you could fit it, like battery centered here, you lift up the indexer a little bit, so it's a little bit higher. And you should be able to still fit it under the trench because this robot is tiny, right? And then put the PDP here, and then just add a bunch of grommets. And that keeps the CG that keeps the battery like centered. And then that also puts the PDP centered. And as long as you're not using pneumatics, you're fine. Yeah, this bot is tiny, George. Yeah. So. I mean, I think with the infinite recharge at home, maybe it was encouraged to be that tiny, but I don't remember. Oh wait, is this clipping? Yeah, I would just make it like 24 or something and call it a day. I guess it... I feel like this is sticking out of frame perimeter. Yeah, it starts sideways. Yeah, Yeah, generally it's nice just to have bigger robots. I think 2023 is the only time where small robots are like nice, but usually you want bigger robots in most games just because you get the nice like giant drive base, and that makes it a lot easier to be aggressive, and it also means you can package things a lot easier. Yeah. Yeah, you could do that. Limit switch probably would work. There's a lot of ways to do the turret. Yeah. And then I would also add grommets and like holes here for electrical access. That's probably fine. And then just raise everything up so you can just keep everything centered. Let's look at the turret. Let's see what we have here. So we have... It looks like adjustable hood. The rack is done here. And I'm gonna look at the CAD practices after as well. So I'm not gonna think about that too hard. It'd be nice if the rack was attached on both sides. Like, I see that you can use a bolt through, but this feels a little bit wonky how it's all like separate like that. And then I would like to see some standoffs as well connecting the two hood sides, because right now there's nothing really holding it together. If you dead axle this and you run a dead axle roller here, then you can get away with just without any standoffs, because the dead axle would act as a standoff. But with your current setup, I would like to see some standoffs, and then this needs to be filleted as well. I would also make sure to add inserts and CAD with inserts. Wait, what is going on here? And then CAD your spacers and everything. It's important to CAD all of this. Like, don't just leave it out for fun. It doesn't take much time. If you're doing best practices, make sure you also CAD the hex as Thunder Hex. But that's like a tiny nitpick. Same with the bearings, use Thunder Hex bearings. Try to be as literal as possible with, hello Nick, welcome to the stream. I think I missed your message, but hi nerds, I see. I'm not a fan of the polycord setup here. Like, you're gonna run it too fast, and it's gonna be like... If you're running your flywheel really fast, then it's gonna be annoying. Especially if you're running the... Yeah, it's gonna slip. Not a fan of the polycord. I would just do a gear setup, like a long belt with a gear. It's fine. And then, this is a personal thing, I would make sure, don't pocket anything until after you get everything finalized. Because the pocketing is going to make life a little bit hard later. If it does break, then just don't fix it later when you're fixing it. I think something to note here is you're doing a small to big reduction, right? But the big gear is still is rotating this rocket, so I don't know if you actually have that much of a reduction because of that. Like, if you did small to big and then another small, and that small one's rotating the pinion, then you have the reduction. But this doesn't have the reduction, and I wonder if you have enough torque for that. Oh yeah, there is no room for energy chain here. Yeah, I would figure out energy chain as well. I have no clue where you'd... I don't know how to... I have no clue how to run this right now. I mean, that's why teams usually have like that giant table. So like that sounds weird if it's a table, but you get the idea for the energy chain. Like High Tide has the High Tide and 1323 both have like the bridge setup. Spacers here, that's not centered. I think you're running too many bearings on this. Yeah, I think you are. You don't wanna... I think you're... Actually... I think you're running one more bearing than you need to. So this one's fine. And then you have this bearing that goes to this bearing. Yeah, I think this bearing right here is over-constraining, or this bearing, so you'd have to remove one of those two. Because otherwise you're gonna over-constrain the whole thing, so... I would delete one of these bearings. As a general rule of thumb, you typically want, only 2 fixed bearings on any rotating thing. So that means that like, so this turret is, so that like the fixed object is going to be the like the turret that doesn't move, right? So you only want like 2 bearings total. Otherwise, if you have a third one, it over constrains it because it's trying to bend it in another direction if you have like slight like assembly tolerance issues. It's fine to have like, so if you're having something float on the turret, right? If you're trying to have something float like on the like adjustable hood and you're trying to have it float, then you can have bearing like more than 2 bearings as long as those bearings aren't fixed to like fixed. So that like if they're able to rotate, then you're fine. Because then they're floating separately from, they're floating on the shaft and they're not fixed to anything, if that makes sense. George, you have to ask Neil on why it's 22 by 22. I wouldn't know. I'm not sure what the dimensions of the high tide one is, actually. Yeah, so the typical setup you run is you run like a Falcon to a belt run. Like that's gear down, and then you have a belt run that goes up, and then that goes to a tiny gear, and then that tiny gear powers the rack and pinion. But I would be careful about this rack and pinion specifically, because I don't think you can machine this. Like I don't think a laser can actually do this. So you'd have to, yeah, 1.2 is really thick as well. So you'd have to 3D print it, and I don't know how to feel about 3D printed. It maybe 3D printed is fine, but it might wear out because the gear here is steel. You can run, you're mark forging it. That might work, I'm not sure. It's probably easier just to, if you're running mark forge, the 10 DP setup is usually fine though. Just 10 DP and then another 10, and then like a 3D printed 10 DP rack, like how Citrus or 2910 does it usually. I think that works. I'm not gonna give feedback on your pocketing. Yeah, I'm not gonna give feedback on that. I don't have my pen to actually like draw it. That's the problem. But I'll give you feedback on it on Discord probably. Yeah. So, if you want general organization, we can talk about that. So we went over the hood. I would probably, just a heads up, I would put standoffs just so that there aren't any dead zones, and I think the standoff should be okay. I would rather just have like polyquarter or belts just running as like a floor just running so that everything is powered. And yeah. And then I'm still a fan of running the nut strips here instead of the 90-degree stuff because the 90-degree brackets are going to be annoying. It might be annoying to get the bolts down there, so that I do agree that that'd be a pain. But yeah. And then this shaft is also too small. I guess we can talk about general practices now. We have master sketch here. First thing, your master sketch is on the front plane, so that's the wrong plane. And then let's see if that impacts. Yeah, and then your robot ends up being the right side of the robot is the front plane, which is funky. So first thing, make sure your plane is correct. Otherwise, it's a little bit funky when you get into the sketch. It's just a little bit disorienting, but it's fine. You can do it in your next robot. Part studio, you have a part studio and then assembly, that's fine. And I assume you do the same over here, part studio assembly. Yeah, so this is all fine. And then you already know my opinion on multi-dock versus single dock. I prefer multi-dock, but since I'm reviewing it, it's whatever. Multi-dock's easier for communication and like when people have Chromebooks. And I think I've talked about this. So I think you derived a little bit too many sketches though. Holy shoot. There's a lot of sketches in here. Holy shoot. Okay. Yeah, I would I guess you already know, but I would work on your organization. I mean, this you don't need every single sketch in the world there. I mean, it ironically looks like you sketched the robot in 3D. But besides that, it's just in terms of like actual plate design, I'd get a habit of just designing in tangent of the holes. I'm not sure what you did here actually, or how you did this sketch. Computer GeoHell? We'll find it someday. Falcon plate. Yeah, I have absolutely no clue where this plate is. It's over here? Okay, anyway, main thing is I would build a habit of just designing in tangent of the holes. So you like always design holes first, and then you just design in tangent. So like, you can see how the distance between the hole and like this curve, it's not like, it's just like arbitrary curve. Like you don't want to have like things that are arbitrary like this. So I really need to get Epic Pen, so for next stream, I will do that. I do not have this, so I do not have Epic Pen on me right now, so I cannot draw it. I would just pretend that like if there's a hole there, you want to just have an arc on every single hole. Well, not on every single hole, but like the edge holes, and then you just connect it with tangent lines, and then that connects it all together. Limelight mount. It's certainly a limelight mount. I think you could simplify this a lot though. If this is 3D printed, you'll need some sort of insert to hold it in place. But yeah. I would. So the really overbuilt strategy is you do like a box tube or a nut strip on both sides and then a plate. And that's the most overbuilt strategy. It's also the most expensive, but it's also the fastest if you have like a laser or you're just trying to machine stuff fast. If you're running 3D printed, I don't remember what the meta is for that. I think you run like 2 standoffs going across, and then you run the 3D printed thing attached to it. I think that's what you do. There's a bunch of ways to approach it, but this is a little bit overbuilt. I think you can simplify this. I have faith in you. Or the... Oh wait, no, isn't that one the really overkill Limelight mount in 2022? I swear the 254 2022 one was like really, really overkill. Yeah. Okay, so I mean belts is fine. I can't actually tell if this is in the right location. So like, especially when I'm doing the adjustable hood here, I would have probably... Well, I guess it's on gray T. I think I would have derived the gray T plate that's everything is mounting to, like into your part studio, and then design on top of that mount like plate, and then like composite part it. And that would make everything a lot easier in terms of working in context and making sure that nothing interferes. This is also no clipping, and I don't think this is in the right location. But I think I've gone over part studio practices enough. I would probably just look at another team and figure out what they're doing. And I'll be honest, I probably need to learn a little bit more about shooters as well. Like I think next stream I'm going to be doing a bunch of shooter designs. So, yeah. But yeah, I'll stop going over the shooter. Actually, we can probably look at... Yeah, I'm going to stop going over the shooter. I apologize, Neil. Let's see. Alright, so we have intake. Here, you have standoff that goes across. So out of curiosity, before we go any further, do you actually run like standard hex, or do you run rounded hex? Because if you run rounded hex, you should CAD the rounded hex. You rounded, okay. Make sure you CAD as rounded, and then make sure the hole is like the shaft feature script knows what's doing. You can just use the shaft feature script. If you're running rounded hex, the one thing is you should basically, if you're running rounded hex, your hex bore you should have inserts, and your hex and your pulley should be basically, I think it's like 22 or 24 teeth, because the Julia feature script also has yeah, the MKCAD hex is really nice, but Julia feature script also has the Julia feature script also has like rounded hex options. So the one thing I would do here though is I would make this pulley a lot bigger, so 24 with an insert, because 18 kind of has issues. Yeah, it's really nice to have the bolt and washer. But this is gonna slip. This thing is gonna slip, just heads up. And this will also slip, just make this bigger, it's fine. This is rounded, I don't know if that's intentional. And then, yeah, just increase the size of your pulleys, and then we're good. Let's see. Pivot here, 0.75, is this gonna be a tube, or what is this pivot gonna be made out of? If it's just a 0.75 tube, it's probably fine. You could probably get away with like the Rev ones, but it's really short. Or like dead axle, like a really mini dead axle type thing. I'm curious on what you actually did. I don't. Oh, you didn't actually do anything. Yeah, make sure you do something here. Just make sure you cat it. I don't have anything else to say. Yeah, just make sure you put it in. I don't have anything else to say. And then I already talked about this, but make sure you design using the, like, holes first. So you always want to cat holes first, and then you want to tangent around it. For this, like, for the weird, geometry like this, you can just design for the top and down pause and play with constraints. But, yeah. And then you can see the kind of the same, like, pattern happens here. You aren't really using anything as... Like, it looks like you have the plate, you have the wheels, and then it's kind of arbitrarily choose it. And I think you could save a lot of material and make it look linear if you do that. And then the one thing is, if you're running a passive intake like this, you need to have a hard stop here. And I don't think I mentioned it, but yeah, you need a hard stop. Otherwise, it's gonna just flop all the way down to the floor. Figure out where you're gonna design that. I don't know where you're gonna design that actually. I think Citrus does a really funny way of doing it on their High Tide clone. But just find some place to hard stop. The bumper also works as a hard stop. So if you want, you can just use the bumper as one. You're playing Fortnite while catting? I see. I won't judge. I won't think about it. But yeah, I bet with the whole like dead axle rollers, if you use the dead axle rollers, it's probably a lot easier. We are dropping an intake part studio. I agree. What else do we have here? The drive chain. I'm not gonna look into this too deep. Why is it upside down? It's fine. Don't have anything else to say. Just add like holes for grommets here and you're good. How easy are the passive intakes to break if you run into stuff? They ran, like, I mean, that's happened to polycarbonate. If you like put the pivot in the right location, right, it will also just like, when you run into something, the pivot will just retract by itself. Yeah, wait, which clearance gussets? Are these? Or talking about this plate? But yeah, if you put the pivot in the right location, if you crash into something, then it'll like just go up. And then if you run it double thick, then it's also nice. Like if you run the intake as half an inch, then it gets really strong as well. In 2022, I remember in 2022 we ran a passive intake and it was fine. Like I know Valor does it too. I think it is prone to penalties because in like Rapid React, your intake location and swerve modules are in the same location, so it's really easy to like go up. You did passive on season, I see. I see it worked well, right? Like it wasn't that bad. You kind of just let it sit there. What else do we have here? I already talked about this. I'm not gonna go over it more. Powered is better, yeah. Okay, so the drivetrain actually is upside down. How did this happen? Wait. Where's the origin? wait, wait a second. Why is the drivetrain upside down? I see. All good, right? All good. I mean, I think you see the issue here. Yeah, that's the whole robot. Maybe like you did something in the part studio and it just like flipped itself over. Do you have any questions or can I move on? Secret stats? Is it? Holy shoot, that's a lot of Fortnite. Yeah. Did I look at Hopper? I think I looked at it at the start. I mean, there's nothing here. Oh, it's over here. Oh, shoot. Maybe... Maybe? No, I think I looked at this during the whole, during the, like, initial review with the main... Yeah, this doesn't work. I don't have anything else to say. Either put standoffs or put belts here, so that everything's powered. Same over here. The speed does increase here, so I'd be aware of that. And and with the current gearing, if it runs too fast, the wheel's going to expand and hit the box tube as well. So be careful about that. And I just run 2 plugs here as well. But yeah, I would make sure everything is powered. Like the actual like indexer going into your, like the actual hopper going into your indexer, make sure that's all powered. I thought this was a pooper unironically. Yeah, it's a... Yeah, I see that. Just make sure, like, instead of having this gap here, just have, like, more belts and you're fine. Like, 2 more is fine. And then 2 more over here. And then O-ring over here and you're good, I think. Let's see. Why is this floating over here? I won't think about it. Wait, this is all floating! What is this? Fix this. I don't have anything to say. Yeah, just make sure you, like, fix one thing. Like, fix something in place. Like, when you design, just make sure you fix something in place, and then we can call it good. Wait. No. I'm now gonna check everything else. Wait, this doesn't move? Okay. Alright, this is fine as well. Okay. Is it just the hopper that's floating like that? Boo him off the stage. Goodbye, Neil. Alright, I'm gonna move on to the next review now. You have any questions before we move on, or...? I'll wait for questions, and then we'll move on to... I'm gonna look at Grimmers, and then I'm gonna start designing my own intake. Neil is over. You're contacting Onshape support. Stop dismantling the hopper. We're doing a breakdown on it. You're getting me banned? No. Wait, Neil, any more questions? Alright. Otherwise, I'm gonna call it good. No questions? Alright. Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, when you fix your CAD, I'll just look at it. Like, you can just ping me, or if I feel like doing another review stream next week, then we can see the updates as well. But, good luck, have fun sleeping. Alright, I don't know if this is considered a review. I saw that Kramer, like, reacted to it, so I'm gonna take a look at it anyway, and I'm gonna make a copy of my own. So let's take a look. Yeah. I think the only thing I'm gonna bully you on is... This might be, it might be annoying to access bolts here, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you'd have to, like, take off the gear and stuff, right? If you want to access this, Max Planetary. I mean, okay, overall, this looks really good. Like, I like the intake. and I'm gonna make my own as well, so it looks good. I like the 1x1 in the front as well. Because that makes the mounting really easy, right? You just go on the side and then you mount on the 1x1 in the front, and that keeps it all stable. That's cool. And then we'll see. So this goes up here, and then we have this access like that spins, so then this pivots on it. Goes over here. Add your fasteners. I will bother you about adding fasteners. I mean, this is fine. Let's see. I guess in terms of things that would be annoying, because I mean this is a good design. There's nothing like insanely flawed about it. And I think other people would learn from that as well. So the first, I would probably add access holes here, right? Just access holes, or just add a gap here unironically so that you can access this whole setup in case you need to do a swap. Because of the size of the gear, it might be like what's gonna like if you need to swap the MP, you'd have to like I think you'd have to like take off this chain and then slide off this gear, and then that way you can actually finally remove it, and that sounds like a pain. I don't know what you think, but that sounds really annoying to disassemble and fix, especially if the MP just has a stroke. Make sure you add spacers. I will bother about that. Spacers here. Let's see. Add shaft. Let's see. This is probably fine. Yeah, you'd have to bolt everything, so at least you only have the bolt holes here instead of riveting it. If you riveted it, this MP would be impossible to remove. Same with over here. Make sure you get the access holes. I assume you know this though. That are still pocketed. Are you serious? Am I taking review requests right now? Sure, I can take a look. I want to do some CAD, but if there's no time to do CAD, then that's fine as well. Just send it in the Discord, and I'll take a look. Yeah. And then I think it's the same over here with this side. Like, it's impossible to access these bolts. Like, even if you you'd have to remove that entire plate, and like half the robot would be hanging here just to take just to remove this Neo, which sounds like a pain. Just make sure you add the access holes. I wonder if it's worth actually to extend this plate out and mount it to the 1x1 right here. Like, it'd be really scuffed, right? But it's like, that way if you take off the side plate, then this thing isn't like floating, and you can assemble it like a little bit easier, right? Because if this is mounted here, then this is fixed, right? So you can build it off that. Because that would make assembly like 10 times easier, because then you're not like relying on a bunch of things floating. Like, maybe it's fine, because if you have the dead axle here, then this technically works. Because you have the dead axle, and then this floats on the shaft. But it'd still be annoying to assemble. Let's see. Add your fasteners when it's really tight. What? Yeah, the bolt's gonna rub against this 100%. Like the bolt head here. No way that's not gonna rub against the plate. And then over here, I'd make sure to put a spacer here between the pulley and the bearing. Just because like the rubbing is really annoying. Just have some like 1/32 spacer, and then that prevents a lot of the rubbing and potential melting on the intake. I mean, this is all good. I don't have anything to say. It isn't quite centered between the plates. Oh, I see. Oh, I guess if you did shift it to the left a little bit, it'd work. This CAD skill issue, I guess. I don't know what to say. Yeah, make sure you center it. This one? Oh, this one also has the pin. I'll look at it after as well. This goes here. I think the main thing I think is just access and how to make this easier to assemble, so... The double chain setup is fine, and then you have the whole thing going across. But like, I don't think this will like, I think this will work. It'll work fine. Just like, and then it's just all the tiny things they gotta fix. And we're good. That's it. I'll take a look at the slab dome intake right now. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Oh yeah, this one's on it. This one's really cool. I mean, it's a little bit more complex, yeah, but I like this one. Let's see. No part studio judging? Oh, I should do that actually, you're right. Let's see part studio. Oh, let's see. Oh, this I mean, first thing right off the bat, I think we talked about this on Discord already. I would make sure your origin is, like, on the floor. Because, like, and I think I remember you were talking about how you didn't know, like, what the height of the swerve is. But now you know, so just make sure you do that. Because if you, like, you change, like, in theory, right, if there's a swerve module that goes up or down, then the origin changes location. So, you want to keep that in the floor in the center. The main things to catch here is, if these are the same plate, just make sure you composite part it so it's not a duplicate part, right? Because otherwise it is all duplicate and you don't want to have too many duplicate parts. This looks fine. This looks broken. Did you do the CCs right? Or why is it broken like that? Okay. I am like a boomer for this, but I would use Julia's contextless belts feature script. You don't. It's a lot simpler. Yeah, just use Julia's. That one's gonna be a lot easier for you. Let's see. Drivetrain tubes goes here up. We have. You're trying it to 9, it's nice. Yeah, Julia's feature script is nice because you can do the offsets and it just you get away with the offsets. Let's see. I mean, besides the broken feature script, it looks fine to me. And it's pretty clean too. Only 36 features for the whole thing. Drivetrain that goes up. It's not public, so I can't look at the sketch specifically. But that's fine. I don't know how to feel about this. The whole the through board 24 tooth here. I think I would prefer it if there's some form of hard stop so that it doesn't like if you press it in right, it doesn't like move around. So in theory, but in practice it might be fine. I've never tried it like this before, so I wouldn't know. Because usually I just have some inset. You have a custom version of a hard stop with for the pulley. I see. I see. What else do we have here? If the spacers are all the same length, and this is 2 inches, 1.5. I would honestly just not CAD this, then just use a COT spacer here. Like the West Coast Products ones. Unless you don't plan on using the COT spacer. But I don't think you need to CAD the spacers here. Composite? Yeah, so basically if you just use the... Oh wait! Oh, I have access to this document. Okay, what am I talking about? Okay. Okay, I forgot that you added me to the document. So... If you use the composite part here... Like, this is... I don't know if this is actually, like, legitimately supposed to be in an on-shape workflow. But if you do something like this... It, like, effectively just deletes the parts from existence. So it still exists, and you can model around it. So for mirrors, it's nice. But it gets shoved in here. So when you actually import it, like, the part doesn't exist in the assembly. You don't have to worry about duplicates. So you just like duplicate these ones over. And this breaks it. I'll undo it. But the idea is when you insert the whole like thing, right? The whole part studio here, it doesn't insert those blades. So you don't have duplicates. And that makes it nice for numbering or on-shape BOM or whatever. But yeah, that's just like something that I personally do. I don't know if it's like legit workflow, but I really like it and I don't really have any issues using that workflow. That's the main reason. But basically it just puts it in a different category, and I use that a lot for reference parts. So like if I import a drivetrain, right? So if I import a drivetrain into my part studio and my intake, right? And I don't want to import the drivetrain into this or have a duplicate part, then I can composite the whole thing so that when I end up making the assembly, I don't have the drivetrain part studios. The drivetrain parts in another, like I don't have multiple of the same drivetrain part. So I can just only have one part of a certain thing. And that's the main idea. But just making sure that you don't have duplicate parts ever in any of your documents. But yeah, that's kind of it. I don't have anything to say here. I'm gonna take a look at this one actually. Let's figure out why this one's a lot simpler actually. So, like if we compare it, I think the main thing that makes this slap down intake a lot simpler is this 1x1 in the front, right? Any part naming feature scripts? So Obby made one. I don't actually remember what it's called. It might be under like Obby's feature script unironically. But if you check that, you should be able to find a part numbering feature script. And then you just click all the parts and it numbers it. And it's just some weird stuff. So like the tube, like when you click the tubes, it won't change. But there's actually like a secondary name that does change. I don't know how it works. But apparently there's like 2 names for each part. So like the actual part number and then the part name. But the Obby one is pretty good. I like that one. And I think shafts also don't change in belts, but you can just manually click the ones that you want numbered. That's why I also like having, so instead of model, so like when I'm CADing for fun, I'll CAD the shafts and I'll just use the MK CAD ones. But when I'm actually doing like real CAD for my team, I kind of prefer doing the shafts inside of the part studio, because if I CAD the shafts inside the part studio, then it becomes an actual thing that you can number and insert into your assembly workflow. Because like if I import an MKCAD one, it's gonna look like an MKCAD shaft, right? But like that's annoying to like keep track of, compared to just numbering it and putting it inside the part studio. So that's why I kind of prefer CADing in shafts inside my part studio when I'm doing real CAD. And then for fun CAD, I'll use the MKCAD ones because those ones are, because that workflow is a little bit faster and it's less like annoying. But in reality, it's maybe 5 minutes total, so it's not that much of a difference. It's just if you want like, that's just optimizing for assembly really and tracking. But yeah. Tell me if you find the Obby one. I'll look for it later if you can't find it. So I guess I'm gonna compare a little bit with why this one is a little bit more convoluted than the other one. I think the first one is just the fact that this front 1x1 means that mounting is a little bit easier. So if you are running SGS MK4Is, yeah, this is the proper way of doing it in a sense, where you have to run it across like that. 1 second. Okay, hello, I have returned. Okay, I'm not sure if my audio thing changed. Hopefully hopefully it's fine. Let's see. So if you're running the MK4Is, you're gonna have to shove it in the back unless you put like, actually this is not MK4Is, this is Vorvex. What am I talking about? The configurable option? Oh, there is configurable. Work? Where's the live axle? Wait, where? Where did it change? Oh, the back roller, I see. Oh, that's cool. Alright. But this Vorvex, I'm not actually sure how to approach it. Like, I think if you want to keep it really simple and small, you'd run like a 2x2 chassis just for that. And I'm probably going to CAD mine with a 2x2 chassis. And then if you run it with 2x2, then you can just mount it on the side of the module. Kind of similar to how this is mounted on the side like that. I mean, the chain run isn't that convoluted. You have your fasteners catted, which is good, and the bolts and stuff, so that's fine. This is fine. The countersink is cool. I don't have anything to say there. I would like to see if you could add like a hole here, just so that you have easier bolt access, so it's easier to remove. Being able to remove the max planetary is super nice. And just like being able to slip it out if you can. So just add a little bit of a, just add like a hole on each side and you're good. Let's see. I mean, there's mirrors over here, then you have another direction swap. I think one thing that you could probably simplify is if you run the gear run, and then you have the chain being run on this shaft right here, right? You run a gear, and then you run it on this shaft. And then you run the chain on this shaft right here. And then on this side, you don't need to have the gear run going up. You can just have it go direct. And I think that would simplify things a little bit. Because then you can have a Neo here, which empowers this belt run, right? And that is a lot simpler. And that reduces a lot of your part count. I think that is one of the things that would simplify it. And that's what Kramer does as well. Would that mess with the chain CC? Yeah, you just use the inline tensioner. If you have this much length, you can just use the inline tensioner. And then if you need to, you can just go even further back. And then there's also like some tricks, I think like 6036. Like they use like a sprocket tensioner as well. You can do that. So like you have a sprocket and you just move it up and down. I don't really like the sprocket tensioner, but you could do that. But yeah, just an inline tensioner is fine. And if you do it properly, you wouldn't need too much rotation, I think. But if you don't have enough length, just drag the whole thing back a little bit and you're fine. I remember I did the inline tensioner, like, I had a shaft here, then inline tensioner. It ended up being useless on the intake, I see. Yeah, I wasn't sure how useful it'd be. I know some teams do it, but it's better to use the inline. If you can. I don't know if you can calculate the length properly though, for this. This might be right, I don't know if this is enough or not. I know Nick has a tutorial on it though, so I just copy that. Let's see. I think that's the main way you can simplify this whole thing. This is also good, so we have... I just deleted everything. This is 832. I think I already mentioned this as well, but if I haven't, drill out your sprockets to 1032 or quarter 20. That makes things easier so the bolts don't shear. And then, yeah, it's not too difficult. But the 832 is annoying because if you don't standardize on 832 and you don't have it, then you have to like buy really short 832 bolts specifically for the intake purpose, in which they have a high chance of shearing, and that's really annoying. Did you CAD the noodles? This is actually the most complete CAD. You did not CAD the noodles, but there are bumper numbers, so... The Andy Mark ones are 1032, yep. Yeah, I really like the Andy Marks. That's like the one good Andy Mark product. So I think I talked about this in the design review on Discord, but for people that are watching, I'll mention it again. So with this, the one thing that is annoying is, yeah, you want to run this all in one block, and I don't think you need this many bolts. You could probably delete like 4 of those. But this, actually no, you move this to this over here, so it's a little bit easier to assemble now. I think it used to be over on this side, and it was like a pain. So it's good that you swapped it over here. That's good. Yeah, this is for the top size, so we're good. We're chilling here. I think it's still slightly annoying. You probably would run a block here. I wonder if you can... From the plates and the inside, 1 inch. Yeah. I wonder if there's Is there any other way you can simplify this? I mean, probably just like you use the block and then you put a bolt here, then that makes the rest of the bolts easy. I'm trying to figure out if there's an easier way to mount this though. Like 2 blocks, yeah. And off, they're fine. You can take a look up here. If this is for 2022, so if this is for 22, I think this whole setup works. You just need to make sure you have the... You'd have to make sure you have the non-abrasive anti-slip tape or whatever it's called, the poop tape. With a 2x1 mounted to the back? Yeah. That's the meta. This might be actually fine though with this size. Like, I don't know if you need the 2x1. I mean, I designed with the 2x1 as well. Oh, what do you mean? With this 2-inch spacing? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I see it. So it might be annoying since this is only a 1-inch space right here. Make sure you CAD fasteners. Alright, I won't bother about nuts, but you get the idea. You get the idea. For this, the belt actually might hit the nut here, so I would actually CAD your... I'd probably, instead of putting the 2 bolts here, I just put like 1 in the center and you're probably fine. Because the belt is probably gonna hit it. Let's see. There's also rivets on there's also rivets from MKCAD. You can just grab those. I think that's it though. I might be a little bit too tired to CAD a full robot. I'm not gonna lie here. I'm not CAD a full robot, like CAD the... Wait, are there... You have the simplified one here, right? You have the simplified sort of modules. Why is this the full detail? Few rivets. Thank you, Andrea. These are the simplified ones. I'm kind of curious on why this is not simplified, but it's whatever. Oh, full detail because it looked cool, I see. Oh, that's valid. The bent poly here is cool. You could probably get away... Actually, I don't know if you can get away with the 3D printed part. You don't need all 6 bolts though, you can definitely get away with just 4. This might be really annoying to access though. And like assemble. I have no clue how it... Like maybe with just hand tools you can just do it, but it might be annoying. Yeah, the bent poly is really cool, I like it. I mean, that's it. Do you have any other questions? Or I think that's it for the intake. I don't have anything else to say. Your part studio? Yeah, I can look at it right now. Alright. Part studio wise, I will make sure your belts are in the right location. This is not, it's not good to have your belts here. I'm going to say, yeah, this stuff doesn't need to be in the center. You can move them on and offset them properly. And I'm going to continue advocating for the contextless belts feature script over the FRC belt calculator. Let's see. Assuming these belts are the same. Oh, the poly should be on the other side of the plate so it doesn't interfere with the ball. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's 2022. You can probably get away with it. I don't think it's an issue. And maybe 2020 it would, but then 2022 I don't see. I don't think it'll be a massive issue. But I think, yeah, technically it is better if you run it on the other side. So I guess back to part studio practices. Make sure you don't have duped parts. That's really important. if you need these for mirror purposes, right? Or like for the shaft across or whatever, then you can just composite everything. Just use composite part on all of this and you're good. But if you don't need it, then either don't cat it or just composite the ones that you actually need. So like I think this shaft is the same on this both sides, so you could probably keep it the same. The only thing you actually need a mirror is this arm. But at least it's multi-part, and the front's in the right location, the origin's in the same location, and the master sketch is good, so we're all good there. That's all good. What else do we have here? Using the shafts. Shaft feature script is fine. Accessible. This sounds annoying. I mean, it's fine. You have access here, but I would probably move the web or find some way to make it easier to access, but it's probably fine. And I've already talked about accessibility a little bit. Same up over here. Yeah, the main thing is just make sure your belts are in the right location. Like, your belts don't need to be in the perfect location. Like, I'll just arbitrarily made it, it's fine. But you want it in a closer location so you can see belt interferences. So if you CAD your belts right, and they're in the location where they're going to actually be, then if you have any, like, or your chain, right, and you have any standoffs that are happening, then you can actually see the standoff. You can see the belt in the standoff runs before you put it in the assembly and have to deal with the issue farther down the line. So just, it makes life easier. That's the main idea. I think that's it. I don't have anything else to say. Do you have any questions or comments, concerns, anything like that? But I think the main thing with the parts studio was just, I mean, technically you want your drivetrain separate. You're good? Nice. Yeah. I mean, you're improving. Like, this is pretty good CAD. Like, it's not like, of course it's not perfect, but it's pretty good, so. Yeah. So do I do the intake? That is the question. It is 11:11. I could just get to sleep or read something for a little bit. I can probably start on it, and then if I get bored, I'll just quit and turn off the stream. Sleep? Yeah, that's true. Alright, I'll make a layout sketch and call it good. Longer than an hour? Unless I speedrun it, you know? I'll start on the layout sketch and we'll see how long I decide to go for. Trust. I don't actually know how much. Do you have like a little bit longer of an offset because you're running 2x2? I'll run like 2 inches here. And I'm using a 2x2 swerve because I'm lazy. Oh, that is an offset mate. Five, 3.5. There was some stuff I wanted to try. I wanted to try CADing the pivot stuff. That's the main thing. I want to try seeing how the offset is. So you'd have like your rollers, right? And then I reviewed the offset intakes, but I didn't want to. And I CADed one before, but it was like a year ago, so that barely counts. Let's see. $9.5? Yeah, that's 9.5. Why does that feel so big? I want to try something, actually. Is there a car driving? So we'll do a... That should be... Yeah, I'm trying to... I want to mess around with just, with having more, like balls here. And then so it does make this a little bit messier. That's the one thing I don't really like. But it makes the I get a little bit better of a compression idea if I do that. If I assume some amount of slope, I'll do it like that. Oh. What can we do here? So we have rollers here. Let's say this is 2.5, right? I need something that runs on the lead. So leading roller goes here. This goes here-ish. And then another roller that goes here, maybe? And that removes most of the dead zones, I think. Big compression, small compression, some amount of compression. That's pretty consistent. I'm happy with that. We'll just call it good. So the one thing I wanted to try, right, is we wanted to not have a I wanted to run the pivot as a separate. So if we run the if we assume the pivot is 5 inches, like it's a 5-inch sprocket, right? This is insanely arbitrary. Like that. Actually, I want to change the I do like a really low pivot. Oh, actually, I wanna add this first. We have floors here. What's the lowest I can go? You could technically put it down here, no? Like, I've never done that. Like, that feels so weird, though. That makes your, like, intake really tiny. And that'd be cool. And then you'd run, like your pivot would be here, and you run the crank over here, right? And this power is over here. And that means your whole intake is really low to the ground. That means that this plate's gonna be like floating up here though. It would be cool. Wait, let me fix this in place somewhere so I can see it rotate. I'm gonna figure out. And then if I do it correctly, right, I can just have the shaft go across instead of having the two like tiny shafts. But is it better to actually have the two tiny shafts, or is it better if it's cantilevered? You have to go up here, right? Then the intake has to be really tall, but this keeps it really short. Like this is insanely short. Oh, actually, I wonder if I can. I can do that to find interferences. That's cool. I didn't. That's a really funny way to do it. So if I do this, I guarantee it's at 0.75. Oh, I want to fix this actually. Oh shoot, I broke something. Okay, no, I do not want this actually, Tanager. That like limits what I can do by a lot. Because right now what I can do. This keeps it really short. I like that. So do I actually want to have the shaft going across like that though? Because I can. Because that keeps it as a single shaft, which drops the part count. That's weird. You could try it. Let's try it. And then, like, so this is such a tiny shaft, then, like, it won't matter too much. So let's rate this 0.5. That sprocket is... So we'd run the 35 series sprocket. And then... the largest I can do like a 4-inch one. That's like 4.5 here. And that keeps it pretty low, right? And then, I mean, the shaft is right here. So it's like, I could unironically just have the shaft go all the way across. And this means that this intake is so compared to the last one, right? The last one was really tall. You can see even with these ones, these are kind of keeps it really short, which I think is cool. Where is it actually? I can't actually tell. Let me think. And then what can we do here? So we have. But I would assume I'd have some form of gearbox. So I'd have some form of. So this is the pivot and also acts as the main thing. So on one side I would have. So I'd have the. Oh, but it does mean that the power transmission's really long. Right? Because you need like a long belt that goes here, and then it goes to here, and then a really long belt that goes here. I don't know. I feel like it's fine though. Like. I mean, the really scuffed way of doing it is you have like a gear here and you just have it single-sided and you like live hex the whole thing. And it's like, it's a hex pivot, it's going to, if it like... Or I could run a gear right here, right? And then I run... Actually, I don't know how to feel about gears with shock loads, because if I crash into something, then it dies, right? So I'd rather... But the issue of chain, right, is I have to deal with tensioning, and I don't want to tension chain. But there's also like really funky ways you can tension, but there's nothing COTS that I can use as a tensioner. Oh, I guess there's the inline ones, the West Coast Products inline. But like the V2s, so the V2s are half-inch hex, like this one, right? The V2. I wonder what the whole... Oh, it doesn't even show me. That's unlucky. I assume that fits into a chain, though. Could I use the turnbuckle as a... Like... So instead of directly tensioning the chain, I tension... And I like put that on like a pivot. That'd be so weird, but that'd be fun though. I want to try it. And then since this is a 35, there's no way I can't just build that out maybe? So what that basically means is you have like a really short 35 chain run, right? And then this whole thing goes on, this whole thing's on a pivot, right? So we fix the length, and then by putting it on a pivot, you're able to slightly change the whole... Actually, no, you'd have to like... that increases the length, you see? So I just like run the tensioner. I should be on the opposite side, so it'd be like this. And you have the pivot here. I haven't actually designed something like that before. And then you have the whole, you have the shaft going across. We'd have this one go across, then we keep this one short, and we keep the... Right? So this goes across here, this stays short. And then I have some form of tensioner. I mean, okay, in theory, right? If I just like run this like over here, so it's near the center of the robot, I don't actually need to do the whole setup because I can just run a turnbuckle, right? But it depends on if I really want to run a turnbuckle or not. That's the question. Like, do I want to run a turnbuckle? Like, if I run this effectively one by one, run 1-to-1, right? And then I run a not a turnbuckle. Yeah, I run a turnbuckle. In theory, if I run it like here, right, I should be able to get away with it. Yeah, this stream, the rest of the stream is gonna be like a bunch of rambling for whoever's watching the VOD. Then it's some belt punch that goes from here to there. So the idea is I run a max planetary that goes to a shaft here, and then this then goes all the way over here, which powers it. And then on the other side, I just have a max planetary that just goes directly to this. And then that also directly powers the whole transmission. And then I keep this whole thing really short. And I mean, this is literally what? This is just under 2 feet. And so I think this is... I just don't know how much like travel there is going to be. Like, I know you can do the math, and I completely forgot how to do the math. That's the problem. So if I knew how to do the math, I would do the math, and I would call it good, but I don't remember how to do the math, so... This question is, do you want to run turnbuckle? I'm wasting a lot of time on this, so... But it'd be really cool to run a short setup like this, and then just... run the 2910 style tensioning. How much time do I waste on this? Alright. I think the plan is... What I'm going to do is, since I cannot make a decision for some reason, I'm going to try messing with the 2910 style, like with a turnbuckle tensioner. And then if I cannot seem to make it work for my life, then I will change it to the traditional tensioner. Or like the traditional long run, right? So it also means that I'm actually gonna run 2 separate setups. So on the tensioner setup, I'm gonna run this, and then on the belt setup, I'm gonna run a different plate. So it's not gonna be symmetrical. And I'm gonna cope and say that's fine, that's not symmetrical. But I think it'll be a lot cooler that way. And then this is the whole, by the way, this is the whole it takes. So super duper compact. And I don't think any of these will like hit each other too, so. And then now I also get to keep everything super duper low. So CG's low, and everything is nice and compact. The one thing though is with this specific setup, I'm not sure how I'm gonna run. Like if I run another roller here, that might be annoying. Like maybe like a 2-inch here. If I was doing a 2022 intake, then I'd go like this, right? And then I'd like bolt it here. It's not awful. Like it's not that bad. Like we go here, then we go here. And then this stays pretty compact, and that keeps everything in contact. Not awful. I mean, it could be better, right? But it's like... Where's the second plate gonna go without hitting the swerve? I'm using a 2x2. I'm cheating a little bit. I'm using a 2x2 swerve. Alright, let's you know, I'm gonna arbitrarily choose a location, so we'll say 7 inches. And then I'm gonna change this master sketch later. Yeah. I don't know. 1.7 is not a real number though, so... what? That's like maybe 20... Plus... I think that's the smallest with some amount of access. And then that lets me rotate this up and down. Actually, I don't want to have that rotate. I want to have this be fixed and then have this. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. And then On the other side, what I'm gonna do is I just have, since this is gonna be fixed, right? So I don't need to worry about this. I can actually just run I can run my belt center to center already right here, and then I'm gonna figure out those center to center as well. So here, number 24. There's probably some like magical issue that's gonna appear as we CAD, but I think that's the nature of all design projects, so I won't really bother. And then this rotates, which is the cool part. Oh, actually, do I? Oh, shoot. Wait, I could hit the ball. Hmm. I mean, the alternative strategy is I keep it like tangent up here, right? So I should have catted the module first. That's my bad. I should have done the sword module and then done the master. Because usually I do the secondary sketch on this, but I don't. I didn't, so. Alright, let's do something arbitrary like this, and then I'll change it. So let's just go and do swerve module. The swerve, and then once I do swerve, I'll go back to this. Yeah, 1.75. So with 2x2, the one thing is you want to have I don't know if this is the proper way. Then you run it like so you extrude each of those. Then I think we can make this 1/16. I don't think it's a problem to make this 1/16 wall. So it's like this. And then I run another sketch. I don't remember how much I need to cut. Where's the, let me check resources, 1 second. Then function resources, I think what I'm looking for is MK4i. This. A nice trick here is if you copy an unshaped link and you need to derive it, if you paste the link, then you can just post it. You can just paste it here. Holy shoot. My cat's getting a little bit worse, so I'm getting sleepy. It's okay. Guess and check. I was not even close. I'm one hole off, okay. There you go. Figure out what's no clipping and then remove it. I think that's 4.25, I think. Yeah. I'm just trying to see if I remember how to do it properly. Oh wait, I could just do... Oh, I think I... Okay, I'm trolling. This is not good workflow, whatever. I think I know how to... I'll make this work. 1 second. Let me just roll back. I forgot that swerve. If I like, okay, so if you run like normal swerve, right? It's the... Wait, this is also really cursed. I don't like that. Wait, let me try it. I'm just trying things for fun. And then... Crunchy? Let me undo, please. Buy only 2 holes if the West Coast Parks 2x2 has 3. Oh, I could do that now. I forgot about that. I could do that, yeah. Oh, that might be weird. It might like cut some of the holes in the center. I used to have like a really good workflow for this, but I just don't anymore, and I don't want to remember how to do it properly. So I'm doing this to cope. I was assuming basically just custom, but I can change it. It's not that difficult. But if that's the case, then the cutout is gonna be kind of weird. Oh wait, that's right. I think that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Let's try it. I think it's one of those things where if you do center hold, then you just have to cope. But my primitive count is going to increase so much. Yeah, that's funky. Is it no clipping? Oh, I know, I just broke the I broke the thing. Okay, that explains it. Yeah, it looks wacky. I mean, technically it would work, right? I don't think you get that much strength loss from it. Oh, that's cutting it a little bit close. I wonder if I can... Oh, that would break it, actually. It would break the modules. I want to CAD it in context of with the modules. So I'd have to move this... I'd have to move this, like, up here, I think. Or, like, past the derive, like, past the circular pattern. And then that breaks the modules, but it keeps this roof dive. Let's see what it breaks. Yeah, that was my guess. Making version good. Could I set the modules out further and mount to the center holes? You could. That'd give you a little bit more wheelbase too. But I'm thinking. I mean, you would cut out less of the hole, right? Because if you're mounting the center hole, you use less of the hole, right? Because you're going... Instead of using the side one. Oh, but you lose a little bit of wheelbase. Oh, but oh yeah, you're right. There's not that much material around it. That's the problem. Yeah. I don't think I'll risk it. I wouldn't risk it. Alright, let's play around with this. So this doesn't work, actually. It needs to be like 9. But if it's 9 inches, then at that point I could just turnbuckle it. Like, I don't think it's an issue if I run the... Right? It doesn't hurt to try. I don't want to do the math, that's the problem. And I really want to try this, like, funky... I want to try the funky tensioner setup. It's mostly a curiosity. But also because I really don't want to figure it out. Oh wait, I just realized something. This CC needs to be calculated. I don't know how much I lose. I didn't lose that much. That's fine, that goes up, that goes up. Bam. And then this needs to be not arbitrary. I think that's good. There might be a chance of like the grip tape on the wheels being too thick. But this is half an inch, so I think we're okay. And then that goes across. And I'll cut the CC here. The one thing that's a little bit frustrating though is it's like kind of hard to fix. Like as I go further here, I have to raise this intake a little bit higher. Unless I have the roller like here, right? And then I need a roller here, then a roller here. Let's have this here. As long as I keep it inside of the printer. It's a really tiny. And then do something arbitrary like this for compression. What's the distance between here? We're good. I think that's it. Oh, this is arbitrary. I need to fix that. And then this is the one thing that's gonna be, this is the rotating tension. And then that stays all under, so it should be super duper low. Oh, the one thing I should do is double check. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Nope. I think that's it for the master sketch. And then I'd CAD the rest of the robot. So yeah, I might as well do the rest of the robot like master sketch just for fun, right? Be like this. Yeah, the stream will get kind of silent as well, as I just kind of think and work through it. I'll try to talk, but sometimes I forget, so apologies in advance. I could probably make it. Maybe I'll CAD a full robot? I'm not sure if I'll CAD a full robot. Actually, this intake is insane. Like, it gives me so much packaging room. Because it's so tiny. Like, it's the size of an over-the-bumper intake. Like a linkage one. Like, if this actually works, and the CG is, like, on the floor, too. we'll call it good. Let's go. Wait, let's just try. So what do we need to do first? So I'm probably gonna import the nut strip and just put it here. That's like the first thing. Import the nut strip. We're gonna start with the plate, and then we're gonna make the like the major plate with the pivot, and then ooh, another thing I could do instead, if I really wanted to, is I could have the. No, that doesn't work. Never mind. I'll do that. I'll do this instead. I'm a little bit concerned if it might be annoying to remove the motors in the front here, like really, really annoying, but yeah, let's just try it like that. So nut strip goes in. And then basically we live axle this, and we just have this go all the way across. Actually, we don't even need it all the way. I think I'd rather make it all the way across, just because of how tight it is. Like, and I don't have that as much room as I want. Actually, we'll figure it out later. I'm not gonna figure it out right now. And then what did I just do? What? Alright, the one thing I don't like about this whole setup right now is it's getting really, really laggy. I don't think I can do anything about it. Hello time. It's only 4 seconds. And it's all coming from tube converter as well. Of course. I think I would rather make the tube slash swerves a circular pattern. Oh yeah, I could do that. Wait, how much time does that actually save? I didn't. Huh. Wait, let's try it. Let's try it. You're right. It's like right here. Yeah, that drops it to 1 sec. That's funny. That's not gonna work. Okay. That extrudes. Then let's delete the circular pattern. And then I transform this to think that already selected the meat connector, actually. And then we circular pattern this. Well, wait, is that right? Why is it like, huh? It's like weirdly offset. It's not a circle. What is? Wait, no, it is a circle. Wait, is it? Wait, I think I just like lost it for a few seconds. Wait, this is right. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I just lost it for a few seconds. We're okay. We're okay. Cool. Yeah, no, I saw something weird for a second. I'm okay. Yeah, the tube converter dropped. I think realistically you would run the middle hole because of West Coast products, but I think in CAD, yeah, it's 1 point. In CAD, I might just run without center hole. I don't know how much that changes load time though. How much does it change? I can save 300 milliseconds by removing the center hole. And I will gladly take 300 milliseconds. Oh wait, no, it broke the whole thing. Oh well. I'll deal with it later. Oh wait. Oh, this is fine. Yeah, we're good. I don't know if I want to save 300 milliseconds. Yeah, that's true, that's true. I should start recommending that. I need to redo my tutorial then. My tutorial uses the triple thing, and that has like insane load time. Oh, okay. We'll do nut strip, and then we'll just start the plates, and then I'll have that run across the front, and then this across the back. The one thing that sucks is that the shaft is gonna be really long, and I don't actually think I need it that long. I think the best thing I could do actually is if I use like if I use a 34, that's already I can just recad the outside diameter a little bit. Because this is actually 4.2. Yeah. But then yeah, that'd be cool to see. I'm gonna do this because if I'm gonna put a tube plug here. Hello? Punchy? Where'd it go? Oh. Right, now I suffer an unshaped rope. That is weird in some ways. I didn't think of that. Oh, I just clicked the wrong arc. Oh, I need. Okay, I'm going backwards. Oops. So let's see what can be live and what can be dead here. So this ruler is fixed, so this can be. I could actually make that dead. My on-shape is not working. Like, what is it doing? It is refusing the auto-constrain. I'm refreshing. Okay. Please auto-constrain. Oh, actually, I probably will have to insert this, right? Because... No, yeah, I'm right. Because this needs to be inset, because otherwise it would interfere with the intake. So... Oh, this is actually gonna be a really weird design. Like, this doesn't actually need that much. That's the thing. Like, but this is gonna be really high part count. That's what I don't like. I guess I can merge this. But I don't even need to, right? It's like... I'll design this, then I'll design it, and then I'll simplify it as I design after I design it. And then, so this goes here, that holds the... And then if I run out of both sides, I don't have to worry about the lever. I have enough room? That's the question. Because if I don't know if I have enough room for everything. You took a nap and this guy is still alive? Yeah. I feel like this is a little bit harder than I expected. I could put a notch over here and then it like that. But that makes the whole setup really convoluted. Yeah, 2,800 parts in the parts video. Unlucky. I'm just thinking. And a lot of thinking. What should I do next? I want to run this on a separate plate that's a little bit like further in. But that means that yeah, well, let's do the alternative shot where I don't think of that problem and then I solve it later. Because I think if I keep thinking, I'm just gonna go in circles. Okay. I need a new color scheme. The manual ones have more primitives? What? Do this color? Wait, we're doing this color now. So I guess feature script is better. I see.
See the bearing bulb? I think those are across. I can't actually tell. That's the 34 too. What is that Andy Mark link? I could unironically just triangle plate this. Oh, I know I can't because let's do that. Why not? And then what? Hello? I don't have any like incentive to make this like real, so I'm just gonna make this arbitrary. Parallelness? Oh, I don't like how the material like it. This is not like a good design. It's whatever. I like it. It's good enough. So this should belt run up here, then this belt runs here, and then I need a separate belt run up. I don't think I actually have enough. Yeah. I don't think I have enough packaging room, actually. Like, I think you just have to... Unless I shift it forward more and make that sprocket really tiny, right? I don't think... This might be really, really rough. Good morning, Neil. Welcome to the stream. Is it 36 to 35 chain bearing force proc? Don't actually. Is this the right? That is not the right one. Unless that's actually on a 1.75. That is on a what? Wait, no, that is on a 200. What? Wait a second. I cannot read drawings. So this is on a. No, some of the holes are on a 2-inch bolt circle, and some of the holes are on a 1.75. But that's not even the right. That's not even the right sprocket, so it doesn't actually matter. AM7 quarter. Want to meet that properly. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut the bearings in the part studio, I don't care. That'll make it a little bit easier for me, so I'm gonna do it. This is really annoyingly tight to package, so. Let's make it 20 millimeters. And then no, I guess I can't cat a boss because of the insert. Oh, I swear I thought there was a way to do it. Yeah, I just do a belt run across probably. That's better. They can't put a plate on the other side. Oh, but what I could do is... Actually, I think I got the order wrong. Oh, that's annoying to fix though. I should have catted the plate first. I want to modify this. I can't see the past sketch. The past, Can I delete this part or is someone gonna ban me? Okay, let's... Because I want to get a hard stop here, and then I want to cat it so that as standoffs that act as hard stops. And then... And then reuse those as I'm gonna reuse the standoffs as hard stops, and then I want to cat it around, and then do the other plate on the on the side of it. If on-shape breaks, I'm gonna cry. On-shape? Please? Thank you. So this is what I want to do. Alright, so I want to have a standoff here that acts as the hard stop. And then I want to have another standoff like arbitrarily somewhere. Right? And then use those standoffs as a means of connecting that to the creating a plate on the outside which acts as then connects up. But that's the idea. Well, actually, I don't even need standoffs. I could literally just use this. I could use this. Yeah. I only need a singular standoff. I need two. Then but so I don't actually, because if I have the plate over here, I don't actually need to have. I think a singular one's okay. I don't think it's ideal, but I think it's okay. for how I'm running it. And then if someone in a design review bullies me for it, I will change it. And then this could also make a pretty good cube intake. Anshay, please. Okay, so we have new plate with standoff, and then this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a plate here. This. What? Oh, I see. Yeah. Kind of a pain. And then we'll, okay, so. Oh, actually, I think I have to live axle the first one, and then I can maybe dead axle the second one. I think okay, so I have to goes here, that goes across. Okay, I think I have to run two separate things. So like on one side I'll have the power transmission that goes up here, and then the other side I have the power transmission that goes. Yeah. I don't know if I can dead axle it then. Because dead axle has to like implies it's internal. But I don't have any room for it to be internal because the... Well, yeah, there. I'll make it... What I'll do is I'll make it live. Which is annoying. And then I'll make it dead axle later, if I can conceptualize... I could actually, I could raise this. That makes it easy. Axle. This looks like a paint. Maybe all I could do is I could just tap it. Countersink the box tube. Oh, I guess there's fasteners. It's fine. I'll just tap it. .156 or something like that. Yeah, something tiny. And 32 tops. Build chart, please help me. And 32 theoretical hole size. There's a formula. Oh, I did the right number. Okay, cool. Cool. I guess okay. I mean, I can just say it. If you're still watching. Basically, I think what I'd do is I would set some sort of down pause and then some sort of up pause. Is this adjustable or is this a non-adjustable hood? Because if it's adjustable, then you just run the up and down pause. Yeah. Or what do you mean by how do you handle it? Like I'm just gonna constrain everything and then I'll display co-op. Oh, this is gonna be an ugly plate. Oh shoot, okay. When the hood is up, I have a moving backing, it gets in the way of the tunnel. What you do is you have a backing behind the hood. So that you don't want the backing, you want your backing to be fixed and then the hood goes up and down basically. And then as the hood goes up, the compression slightly decreases because the backing is behind it. But it's fine because yeah. Or that's what I think that's Holy frick! I spilled water on my keyboard.